Down in the polls, with Election Day inching closer, a more subdued president seemed to finally embrace the obvious.
It will probably, unfortunately, get worse before it gets better. Something I don't like saying about things, but that's the way it is.
In a marked change of tone, Donald Trump mostly shied away from boasting about his handling of the pandemic. He backed off his previous false claim that testing creates COVID cases, and even encouraged Americans to wear a mask when physical distancing isn't possible.
Whether you like the mask or not, they have an impact, they'll have an effect, and we need everything we can get.
Trump also said he'd be okay with additional funding for testing after one of his coronavirus task force members, who was not invited to the press conference, raised concerns.
It really is patchy. It isn't as uniform as we would like.
Thank you.
Today's briefing was far less combative than the marathon sessions Trump held at the start of the pandemic, which ended abruptly in April after he suggested UV rays or bleach could be used to treat COVID.
Is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
The comments made one of his scientific advisors cringe and empowered his critics.
Every time President Trump takes the podium at one of these briefings, he's a threat to public health.
Trump has been urged to take on a more serious approach to the pandemic after scenes like this played out across the country. A woman in Montana appears to cough on a couple in the parking lot of a grocery store after she was confronted about not wearing a mask. Trump's change in tone comes as his popularity is dipping. Multiple national polls have him trailing Joe Biden, his Democratic presidential challenger, and Trump's handling of the pandemic is a factor. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.